Hey guys, this is Rebecca Quinn, formerly known as Becky Lynch, and you're on the Real News Talk channel. At the moment, I am currently taking a break from wrestling to be with my family, so I can recuperate and come back stronger than ever. As far as me returning to the WWE, it's uncertain at this point, but I may end up going elsewhere, because I've been with the WWE for 10 years straight and have accomplished everything I needed to do in that company. And I know my husband Seth Rollins has re signed, but that doesn't mean I will be too. Sometimes couples have to take a little break from each other to maintain a healthy relationship, and it's for the best, as we both see and be with each other the majority of the time off work. As for Tony Khan refusing to comment on potentially signing me to join AEW, well, that's for me to know, and for you to find out. Retronic Ice Cat, you know what the fuck to do.
Yo, what up, guys? This is Retronic Ice Cat. You're on the Real News Talk channel. You know what the fuck to do. So, this brought to my attention just now that Tony Khan has refused to comment on AEW potentially signing Becky Lynch. Well, if that's the case, then you know that it's an indication that those two are secretly cutting a deal behind closed doors. Because Becky Lynch, who will then be called Rebecca Quinn, should be going by her real name. Because obviously Becky Lynch, the name Becky Lynch is owned by the WWE, so she won't be going by that name anymore. She'll be going by Rebecca Quinn. So, obviously, Tony Khan is not going to reveal that, Rebecca Quinn is going to be joining AEW in the future. Nah, because if he were to reveal that so soon, that nobody's going to give a fuck. No one ain't going to care. And when that does happen, they'll be like, okay, here she is, she's in AEW, then blah, blah, blah. Then the ratings will drop. There ain't going to be no difference. It's better to keep things hidden because back in the day, that's why I like the 90s wrestling better because everything was hidden. The dirt sheets weren't really out like that. People knew how to keep things hidden. That's why wrestling was so exciting. People couldn't wait to tune in the following week to see who's going to show up on Nitro or Monday Night Raw when the Monday Night Raws were happening. That's what made wrestling exciting. But now that the internet has advanced so much to the point where everybody knows what's happening behind the scenes and wrestlers communicating with people on social media, it gives away a lot of things. It gives away a lot. And obviously, they're not going to tell you everything, but they do give hints. They do give hints on what could potentially go down in the future. And this is what Tony Khan is doing. He's giving hints. He's keeping things coded. He's basically indirectly saying that he's trying to cut a nice deal for Rebecca Quinn. He's going to be paying her roughly the same amount as Mercedes Moné to keep her sweet. He ain't going to give her some crappy deal. That's for sure. Tony Khan's not that stupid. He's going to pay her as much money as possible to please Rebecca Quinn and convince her to join his company. And I know a lot of people are saying that, ever since Mercedes Moné has joined AEW, she hasn't done much. Well, she's doing a lot better, in my opinion, right now in AEW than she did in the WWE. Because when she was in the WWE, yeah, sure, she held the belt a few times, but she never really held it for that long. She was more of a transitional champion. She was treated okay, but she wasn't treated that great. Hence why she wanted to leave in 2019. But Vince McMahon persuaded her to come back. And if it weren't for Vince McMahon, she would have left the company a long time. In fact, she would have joined AEW in 2019 instead of this year. Until 3 years later, 2022, she decided to up and leave. She had enough. She reached a breaking point, her and Naomi. But obviously Naomi returned, didn't it? Mainly because of her husband, Jimmy Uso, and the connections and whatnot. So that's why she decided to return. But as for Mercedes Moné, that wasn't the case. She just jumped ship to AEW. She didn't waste no time. She weren't playing. As she even said it herself when she was in the WWE, she felt like she was handcuffed. She felt like she was handcuffed. And it's clear as day that the way that she was treated in the WWE The way that she would lose matches. And funny enough, she never won a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. Only a tag team match with Naomi on the same year that she walked out of the company. How sad is that? How degrading is that? That's one of the reasons why she left the WWE and joined AEW. And now she's doing a lot better for herself. She could pretty much do what she wants. She has more freedom now. Despite the ratings in AEW right now, it's not just Mercedes Moné. No, it's not Mercedes Moné. It's the product itself. The product needs solid producers and directors to help guide the show. Hence why Shane McMahon could potentially join AEW at some point to spice things up, to change a few things. Because Shane McMahon has a lot of knowledge. He has a lot of knowledge about the business. So he could help change AEW and make it become a better company. You know? Because they do need a guy that has a lot of experience. Especially being the son of Vince McMahon, who is responsible for sports entertainment and for professional wrestling today. So that would be a bonus if they were to add Shane McMahon to AEW. Because obviously Tony Khan, he's still green. And because he's filthy rich, he doesn't really know what to do. So he's just doing whatever comes to his mind. And that's why the storylines are all over the place. And then people wonder why the ratings are dropping every week. And last week, they had their lowest rating ever. Just over 500,000 views. 500,000 views. That's almost the same as Impact Wrestling views. TNA views. Which is sick. It's disgusting. And obviously, they should know that, hey, this is a wake-up call. We need to change a few things because something's not right. Hell, MJF returning to AEW, it's not cutting it. People don't really care no more. MJF confirmed that he's staying in AEW. He even has an AEW tattoo on the back of his leg. So that guy ain't going nowhere for now. So, but yeah. A lot of things need changing in AEW. And I believe that change is coming pretty soon. So they can be strong enough to compete with WWE. WWE is on fire right now. Triple H is doing a good job. He's actually making the company a lot more entertaining. Just like the good old days. And in 2025, when they go onto Netflix, they're going to have an uncensored show. So basically, they're not going to bleep out F words, B words, and whatnot. They're not going to bleep out any of that. It's just going to be uncensored. So maybe that's when TV14 will return to the WWE. So AEW, they need to step their game up quick because it's not looking good on their side. But I have faith in AEW. I believe that they will wake up eventually. Because if the WWF can do it, which they did in 1998 when they were on the verge of going out of business, then AEW can do the same thing. Because before 1996, WCW weren't really saying much until Monday Nitro, you know, when Monday Nitro made its debut. And the NWO taking over the joint. That's what boosted up the ratings because the WWF during that time was just failing miserably. So, yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens right there. But, yeah, let me read the article anyway. Becky Lynch lost her Women's World Championship to Liv Morgan at WWE King and Queen of the Ring. Eager to reclaim her title, Lynch challenged Morgan to a rematch on Raw last month, but was unsuccessful. Currently a free agent, there have been discussions about a potential move to AEW, but Tony Khan has refrained from commenting on any possible signing of Becky Lynch. Again, he wants to keep things hidden. He wants to make it a surprise, because if he wants to reveal it, then it will not be a surprise and nobody will care anymore. Anyway, Liv Morgan defended her women's world championship against Becky Lynch on the May 27th edition of Monday Night Raw in a steel cage match. Despite Lynch's best efforts, Morgan won the match and retained the title. This marked Becky Lynch's last WWE match for the time being, as Lynch is currently a free agent. While speaking during the AEW XNJPW Forbidden Door media call, Tony Khan was asked about the potential signings of Dijak, who recently left the WWE. I think he's leaving today or tomorrow, Well, they ain't doing much with him anyway, so it makes sense that they just let the man go and do whatever he wants. And Becky Lynch. Khan initially expressed reluctance to discuss ongoing negotiations with free agents, but acknowledged his respect for the mentioned names. Yeah, because Tony Khan knows what he's doing, and he's got a lot up his sleeve. There are some great free agents out there. These are great names you're talking about. I have a lot of respect for everybody you said, but it probably wouldn't behoove me or benefit AEW for me to give my contract thoughts on all of them, or what I would negotiate, or what I would have with any of them. I do think they are all great talents. We have also reported the possibility of Becky Lynch making her way to AEW. Only time will tell whether Becky Lynch will end up taking a long break from WWE and end up signing a lucrative contract with them eventually. I highly doubt it. I doubt it very much, because Becky Lynch won the women's title 7 times and 7 means completion. So she's finito, she's done with the company. She's ready to take herself elsewhere and dominate another promotion to create an even bigger legacy. What do you think the future holds for Becky Lynch? Is AEW a possibility? Is a high possibility of her joining AEW. And not only that, Bayley's contract is set to expire the end of this year or early next year. So that's why she's holding on to the belt for a good while, until near the timing of a contract expiry date. And I know that she's going to end up putting over a younger talent in Tiffany Stratton. So basically, they're saving that moment. They're keeping the belt on us so they can save the moment where Bayley has a final match against Tiffany Stratton on a pay-per-view or on a SmackDown episode. And then Tiffany Stratton beats her for the SmackDown Women's title and passes the torch to Tiffany Stratton. And then says her goodbyes. And then once her contract expires, she jumps over to AEW and can be with her friend and work with her again in Mercedes Moné. And plus, potentially form one of the biggest factions, one of the biggest female factions ever in wrestling history in recent memory. Having Rebecca Quinn, Pamela Martinez, and Mercedes Moné. I don't know the name of the group that they'll call themselves, but it'll be like an NWO style type of faction. Something that Bayley has always dreamed of. I know she did a thing with Damage Control. She can have an even bigger faction. She can have an even better faction by having Rebecca Quinn, Pamela Martinez, and Mercedes Moné as it would even be the 4 horsewomen, because Charlotte won't be there, but they'll call themselves a legit name, that'll be a force to be reckoned with. And people will take note. And people will be talking. Trust me. If those three were to get together as a faction, they could take over the joint. They'll take over the women's division for sure. But I don't see that happening until 2026. Because by that time, it would mark the 30th anniversary of the NWO. So that wouldn't be happening until 2026. If Rebecca Quinn or Bayley decides to jump ship to AEW around that time. You know? So anything's possible. I could see Bayley paying homage to the NWO by creating one of the best factions, one of the best female factions in wrestling history. So that'll be a huge game changer. You know? Because those women, they've done it all in the WWE, so they have nothing left to prove. So they'll leave that to the Roxanne Perez, Lola Vice, Tiffany Strattons. They'll leave that to them to carry the women's division in the WWE while they go elsewhere and dominate the women's division in another promotion. So that would be extraordinary. I'm all for it. If that ever happens, that is. That's just a dream faction at the moment, but it can come to reality. Plans are subject to change at any time. So let's just wait and see what happens in the future, and let's just wait and see if Becky Lynch decides to sign with AEW or changes her mind and decides to go back to the WWE. But right now, in my opinion, it doesn't look like she's going to be going back to the WWE. She has her eyes set on AEW. Because Tony Khan, he might look like a joke, but he's no dummy. He's going to pay Becky Lynch a shitload of money. Something that she can't refuse. And trust me, I can't see her turning it down. I just can't. So yeah, that's my take on the situation. Let me know your thoughts on it. And yeah, leave the comments down below. This is Retronic Ice Cat on the Real News Talk channel. Got nothing more to say. Stay blessed. Keep it 100. Peace.